Whether or not we get another heart is going to depend on just how much money we have in the final shop. Is going to determine whether we upgrade another heart or if we just put some money into the fire, into the flamethrower. And there goes the jacket. Oh, you know what though? Since we're here, let's take a do-over on this screen. Since we're right here. I think you can only get one jacket per level. So if we get hit again, the jacket will not be here. And the game is very stingy about giving out jackets. You cannot just count on, oh, you know, the boss room will have a jacket in front of it. Nope. But there certainly is an achievement for finishing the game and beating the last bosses without losing your jacket. And I have certainly never gotten that achievement, and very likely never will. I don't want to call this my least favorite screen in the game, because I'm sure there's a screen in the hard mode that I'm just forgetting that's even worse than this. But the way the wind blows you back on this screen is extremely unforgiving and very difficult to... Like, I can't even describe what makes it difficult. It's just, it screws with your jump so much in ways that you're probably not expecting. Because one thing about Kero Man's double jump is, typically when you have a double jump in a platformer game, you can use it as a double jump, kind of in order to, you know, reach higher platforms or reach higher targets or whatever. Or you can use it as a safety net. Like if you botch a jump but you still have your double jump, you can use your double jump to get back to safety. Kero Man's jetpack, because you have to choose what, there's one of two versions to use, either this neutral one or the forward one. Because of that aspect of the double jump, it doesn't make for a very good safety net unless you are just extremely skilled with it. But I would almost say if you're skilled enough with the double jump that it works as a safety net, you're probably not going to get into a situation where you've botched a jump in the first place. So I can see why it took a lot of getting used to people. Now that I'm pretty used to it, I do enjoy the double jump in this game. And one of the reasons I had to dump the Steam version is because I made it far enough in the game to get the jetpack, but for some reason the Steam controller will not let you use the forward jump. You only get this version of the double jump, which is super useful, but it's not enough to get you through the game. So I was thinking, either I'm doing something very wrong here, or this game is just bugged. And then I watched some YouTube videos, and it turns out the game is just bugged. I hate this boss so much. This boss is the most random boss in the game, and it's just a matter of, can you get lucky enough to damage him enough before he damages you, kind of thing. This first phase isn't bad. You just gotta break the 3 targets as he kind of follows you around. But starting here, he's got 1 target, but sometimes you can't hit it. Probably gonna be over here. Like, I could just barely hit that target up there. I did get a little bit of damage off of him. Ah! And then when he throws his little shots down like that, they can feel very unfair if he throws a shot just down on top of you. That's what we're looking for, right there. And then he goes super fast, so trying to actually track anything from here is such a crapshoot. Oh, I want that hurt. Get that hurt, please. Thank you. Oh, thanks. It's a little bit of breathing room. Good stuff. Yeah, if there's a faster way to kill this boss, I don't know it. I just kind of hope to get lucky and put myself in a position. You can try to chase him around the room a little bit. You can try to position yourself up on the platforms. But I find it's just more trouble than it's worth, and it gets you hit more often than not. Oh well. Brickroad, answer your goddamn phone! I did! Stop yelling at me! I do not have Ice Cold Delicious Pepsi today. Instead, I have Ice Cold Delicious Dr. Pepper. And it is delicious. It's my one soda that I'm allowed to drink today. Pepsi's my favorite soda by far, but sometimes when you drink the same thing or eat the same food or whatever over and over and over again, the alternative will taste better to your palate simply by virtue of being something a little different. That's how I feel about the Dr. Pepper. And also the Mountain Dew. I love me a good Mountain Dew. The original Mountain Dew. You know how they came out with all the other colors? Like you can buy the red Mountain Dew or the black Mountain Dew or whatever? Not a super big fan of most of the other flavors of Mountain Dew, but the original Mountain Dew, I don't want to drink it all the time, but once in a minute, I do enjoy a Mountain Dew. I'm going to take so much damage on this screen, just because I don't know how to not take damage on this screen. No matter how careful I try to be, I always get boxed in by tumbleweeds at some point. Let's just run for it. Let's just make a break for it. Oh! We almost went for a horrible swim. Wow, I took 0 damage, though. Guys, I got through the tumbleweed section without getting hit. I am a monster at this game. Alright, we gotta be real careful with these fishbone guys. Because we're getting to the point in the game where kind of level 2 weapons are no longer going to cut the mustard. You guys know what I mean, cut the mustard? Because if you do, explain it to me. I've never understood that expression. Because you don't cut mustard. You spread mustard. Or you squirt mustard. But you don't cut it. It's not like a stick of butter. Unless, like, antique mustard way back in the day before we invented the squeeze bottle actually was more of a... like a I don't know. I don't know anything about mustard. But this is where you start seeing the weaknesses of these level 2 weapons. Those fish bones take multiple hits to kill. They come at you kind of fast. I think they've got iframes as they're spawning in. And they eat your shots, but they're also small enough that they can kind of swerve in between your quad shots if you're not being careful. That coin's just gone. I tried, but sometimes in life, as in Kero Blaster, you are unsuccessful. Psychic hotlines are bullshit. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of Hulu lately. Usually I don't watch Hulu, usually I watch Netflix, but I'm married to a woman who is subscribed to Hulu. And Hulu is a streaming service where you watch TV shows, and you can pay, I think it's like $11 a month for the base service, or you can pay $13 a month for the base service with no ads. And my darling wife, Peanut, will not pay to remove the ads, because she says she likes the commercials. So, whenever I want to watch something on Hulu, I have to watch commercials. And I've been watching, I went back to watch, the new season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. A show that I love-hate. And so, during It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia were many, many commercials for the California Psychics Hotline, or whatever it's called. And I was reminded that psychic hotlines exist, and that people use them. That's a safe spot, don't worry, I was not going to get squashed there. And oh my goodness, the commercials are so funny to me, but also a little anger-inducing. So we had a good time going on the website, and so the way psychic hotlines work, I didn't actually realize this, but the way they work nowadays, it's like they don't just hire psychics. What they do is they're kind of like Uber, where if you are a psychic, and you're not, because there's no such thing, god damn it, don't believe stupid things, okay? But if you want to bilk people out of money by pretending you're a psychic, because you have no moral compass, then what you do is you sign up for an account on the California Psychic Hotline, and then people call or whatever. Or you actually, what you do is you type in your like psychic expertise. Like, I mean, cold reading is the only psychic expertise. That's the only skill that psychics can actually measure, because that's what they're doing. They're essentially lying to you with style. Oh, why do people believe in stuff like this? Anyway, I can afford my ninja now. Ninja's good. We're gonna buy that. And let's fill up the hearts here. But yeah, you'll put in your little specialty, like, I talk to dead people, and notice there's no jacket in this level, because this level's harder than the previous level. But yeah, like, I talk to dead people, or I channel spirits, or I do astral projection, or I give relationship advice. They all give relationship advice. But yeah, it's like an Uber situation. You know, go on the psychic hotline, you select the psychic you want, and they're private contractors, basically. Oh, is there anything sadder? I mean, I guess it's a job you can do from your house. If you really have no skill set, but you're good at lying to people, or you're good at telling people what they want to hear, then you can be a psychic. It helps if you're a woman with an accent, I find. Most of the women or most of the psychics on the California Psychic Hotline are women, and they have some kind of nationality. Like, I'm a Romanian gypsy, or I'm a Jamaican voodoo soothsayer, or whatever it is. Because if you are a silly American, I don't know why it's called the California Psychic Hotline. It's not just for people in California. It's, as far as I can tell, it's a national service. But if you're the type of person, a silly American who believes in psychics, then, like, an accent sounds exotic, and exoticism is mysterious. Ooh. And mysterious makes the whole psychic thing more believable, I guess. So a lot of them have accents, and I have to assume that many of these accents are fake. Like the venerable Madame Cleo of yesteryear, who faked a Jamaican accent. But we also learned that a lot of the psychics have stripper names, which is amusing, to say the least. So what they do is they don't put their real name on the California Psychic Hotline. Nobody wants to know their real name. No, like if you're named Charlie or something. So what they do is they give themselves fake stripper names. So you're not calling up like Janet. You're calling Stella or Diamond or whatever. It's so bizarre. So the commercial is hysterical because I consider myself a skeptic. Like one part of my worldview is to be skeptical of things and question things, and I consider myself a skeptic, and I like reading skeptical communities and things and read their forums and their debates. So when I see a commercial that uses the word skeptic incorrectly, it does kind of stick in my craw. Not gonna lie, it does kind of get in there. So of course this commercial has women who are like, listen to what these skeptics have to say about the California hotline. And then the woman's like, I was skeptical that the psychic would know anything about me. And it's like, it's not, I was skeptical that psychics are a thing. It's like, I was skeptical that California Psychic Hotline had quality psychics. Watch this jump that I'm about to have to do here, because if I don't do it correctly, I'm dead. Oh! Ah! Whoa. You saw what happened there. I tried to save my jump by using the jetpack, but it just wasn't good enough. Oh well. So suffice it to say, they have not had any actual skeptics try out the California Psychic Hotline, because if they did, obviously the response would be, oh yeah, no, California Psychic Hotline is a fake psychic thing. They're just cold reading. That's what they're doing. Here's a link to a science journal that explains what cold reading is, if you don't already know, you know? I'm gonna have to put a link to a scientific journal in the doobly-doo of this video now. If you don't know what cold reading is, scroll down and click the link. Shortest explanation ever. It's social engineering. You read people, determine what they want to hear, and then tell them that. Anyway, California Psychic Hotline. We've been having some fun with that. So, one of my favorite kind of YouTube videos that I enjoy once in a while are the scam baiting videos. What this is when people have like a known scam. Like, typically it's a computer scam. Like, the scammer calls you up and is like, I see that your computer's been hijacked. If you pay us $80, we can go into the computer and clean it out or whatever. So what people will do is they will bait the scammers. Scam baiting. That's why it's called that. So what they do is they'll set up a virtual machine on their computer, call one of these scamming call centers, which are invariably in India because the scamming regulations there are much more lax, I guess. But then they'll act like they're a victim to see how long they can just waste the scammer's time. And the videos are endlessly entertaining. I enjoy them immensely. So I'm thinking there's got to be a YouTube scene of people calling up these psychic hotlines, just messing with the psychic, recording it, and putting it on YouTube for the lulz. And I was disappointed, because what I found, instead of people essentially scam baiting the psychics, is there are entire YouTube channels devoted to, here's how you can be successful as a psychic. They're like, it's like a pyramid scheme, almost. It's like, I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that's like, here's how to get a 10,000 viewers on your YouTube channel. Here's how to run a successful... And a lot of those aren't scams. A lot of those are just well-meaning channels that share the same kind of advice as everybody else. But they don't work. But the fact there's a whole industry of them, that means that most of these psychic hotline workers, the people who sign up on the California Psychic Hotline to take phone calls, are not succeeding. They're making pennies. The fact that people out there are approaching it as a get-rich-quick scheme, because I always assumed it was just a scam on the part of the psychics, scamming the callers. But the more I looked into it, the more depressing it got, because yeah, the people calling in are getting scammed, but also the psychics themselves are kind of getting scammed with the promise of an oversaturated business model that you can't really make really good money at unless you're very lucky, or... that's it, unless you're extraordinarily lucky. Shoutouts to Dada for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.